It's showtime, folks. Welcome in. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game here on this Thursday. This week is flying by. We are live today at Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel, as we are every Thursday, and always enjoy being here. Joe is here.
Hey, man.
Dr. Crane back at the studio. JoJo, how is breakfast?
Breakfast is fantastic, as always, at the Omni. Oatmeal is the absolute best at the Omni Nashville Hotel. So if you're in town, you do a staycation, come down here and take in Kitchen Notes, and it's just you feel important. I mean, they got you set up nice in here. You feel like a VIP, which since we never get to feel like a VIP when we come down to Omni, it's even better.
Yeah, for sure.
Faux show.
We're gonna have to get Dr. Crane down here one day.
Yeah.
We'll let him out of his little producing cage.
Maybe, easy pal.
Maybe. But
I would love to get a nice breakfast from Omni. I bet they get good, thick cut hickory bacon.
Yeah. See, look, we got them all excited now.
I'm a big breakfast guy. Come on.
I know you are. No, it's good. Breakfast. Hey,
That was one of our greatest discussions on this show was do you or do you not eat breakfast? And the overwhelming majority was people do not eat breakfast.
yeah. I'm not a regular. I might get a little snack or something, but when I'm here, I eat breakfast.
Oh,
and then it kind of becomes my lunch.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah. You don't leave till 3, and they're like.
Right. And, I mean, you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner in all about a 2-hour
Oh,
span.
you got me. Oh, man.
Oh, up and running today. Yeah, well, no, you don't. The Predators are going to play the Vancouver Canucks. We have no idea when. We do know where because the Predators will go out there first, but we don't know when yet. But the Preds know officially that it is going to be the Knuckleheads in the opening round of the playoffs.
That's going to be exciting. They haven't played before the Preds got hot, right? They played last year, didn't play.
Yeah, it was
last year.
They have not played in 2024.
Good. So, man, I like this. I just don't like the 2 a.m. starts, but nobody's asking me. But what I do like, though, is that we were crunching some numbers down here on the Chase and Big Joe show, and it seems like
the People Show.
The People Show. It seems like that we we know nothing. We're speculating. Put that out there. The next Friday, a week from tomorrow, might be a playoff game here in town.
Yeah, if you do the math
crazy
on, if they start on a certain date, then, I've heard they could start Sunday, they could start Monday, they could sturt Tuesday. There's just everything everywhere that everybody's speculating.
Didn't they move a Lady Gaga concert one year?
I feel like they did that. Could you imagine David Kells making that call? Like, hey, this is David Kells with the Nashville Predators. Listen, we got a hockey game. Can Miss Gaga move?
Yeah, it'd be more like, well, and I think she did, right? If I remember this correctly, she did. So a week from the day, Tim McGraw has a concert at Bridgestone. Would he move? No, he moved. No.
Well, I hope no. He needs to stay.
Yeah,
he needs to stay put.
And wear his Preds jersey.
Yeah,
and do
that'd
the
be great.
And all that other stuff.
No, he needs to stay put. It goes draft next Thursday night, and we're out at Twin Peaks, so there's a lot of nice little things coming together with the Predators in the playoffs and the draft. Hard to believe it's a week away.
Yeah,
we're finally we're a week away.
Just go steal one game on the road. Just steal one game of one of the two. Steal. I don't even
see. Here's the thing. I really like this matchup. I like this matchup because I know Vancouver is that team that everybody's kind of falling in love with and going like, oh, yeah, they're pretty good. I think that they are the Nashville Predators the year that remember the year that they played Anaheim in the first round, went 7 games, and then San Jose, Fisher had the
2016?
Right.
Yeah.
So the year before they went to the Cup. I kind of think they might be that, or even the year before when they lost to Chicago in the first round. I think Vancouver is a young, talented team that still needs to learn how to win in the postseason. And the thing about the Predators is you got a ton of guys on that team that have done a lot of winning in the postseason.
Well, I mean, the good thing is now you know, now you prepare, now you go forward, now you you get ready for them, and it's the most important game.
Yeah.
In the Nashville Predators franchise history.
The most important game is the next game.
It sure is, Chaser McCabe.
How it is. Now, we talked about this yesterday. I asked you if you were concerned at all about, possibly having a week off, almost a week off. Andrew Brunette was asked that yesterday of how challenging is it mentally to wait so long to start.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely the challenge. I mean, the weather's nicer, the patios are open, especially here in Nashville, and it's hard to really dial yourself in. And I think, again, you're leaning on your veteran groups, and it's good that we start on the road. So I think for us, it'll be really good for us to get out of here, have a couple days to prep or a day to prep up there, and be ready to go.
So, and I think they got the right leadership in place that, with guys like Ryan O'Reilly and Roman Yossi and Forsberg and Gus Nyquist and, Luke Shen, everybody they've brought in here. They added Zucker at this trade deadline that I think fits in this.
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay, because they know they still have that job to do. But I also think it is a little bit of a good thing that they've probably had a couple of days to turn it off.
It's what you got to do, and you got to go and say, all right, here's when we're playing at this time, this day and this time, and get ready for it. I don't think a time off now is a bad thing. And, if they go out and they lose the first two, then the narrative's going to be, wow, they had that week off. If they win the first two, it's like, hey, they were refreshed and ready to go into attack. You just never know when you play that first game. I'm just glad we know, for the most part, who they're playing. Not really sure when they're playing, but now you can go and prepare for the opponent and just go at it, man.
Yeah, for sure. So
Chaser.
They will take on the Vancouver Canucks, and we'll be talking a lot about the Vancouver Canucks as we go along. Today from 4 to 6, Jared and Max Hers will be doing the Predators playoff preview show. So you'll hear from Captain Roman Yossi. He'll join the program. Andrew Burnett will join the program. They'll also check in with Pete Weber and Hal Gill. And also go to Vancouver and talk to somebody there. So you'll get the full gamut when it comes to the playoffs.
That's today.
That is today from 4 to 6.
Are they all remote somewhere or in studio?
Jared is going to come down off the mountaintop and be in studio, I believe.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, that's to be a police escort probably on the way in to do all that.
Ian doesn't remember what he looks like. So
that's a good thing.
Last time I saw Jared was December. It was the week before Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
And did he tip you?
He gave me pretzels. He gave me pretzels.
Nice. All right, so we're a week out from the draft, and do you want to
go ahead.
The question?
Throw it out there.
So a week out from the draft, Joe Walt is now the overwhelming favorite that people want to probably take, but, they're chipping away. Brett Bowers. So we want to know today, in your opinion, all right, so Joe Walt's father played in the NFL at a high level for many, many, many years. So we want to know, we're just kind of debating this morning, what's the most athletic family, professional sports-wise, of all time? The most athletic family. One that, you could have brothers that have played. I mean, you look at Gronkowski, like, Rob Gronkowski is the only one that played at the high level. I mean, his other play, this and that. But, like Walter Payton's brother, Eddie Payton, was a hell of a kickoff returner, a punt returner for the Detroit Lions.
I mean, you got, they probably don't get thought of as much, but, the Matthews family, Bruce is the Hall of Famer. Clay's
should be a Hall of Famer.
Clay the third probably had an argument for being a Hall of Famer.
Who's Jake is at the for the Falcons now, going his 10th or 11th year. He's played at a high level.
Yeah, Bruce's son play here briefly?
Yeah,
for a little bit.
Kevin, was that his name?
Kevin. Yeah. I mean, he was in the league for a few years. But
still,
I look at it as
that's a great. I never thought that's a great one.
Yeah, I look at it as if you get into the league and you play for 2 or 3 years, you're in the league.
Yeah,
whether you were good or not.
One more snap than I did.
Exactly.
Right. Like Bosa's Nick Bosa, and who's his brother? Joey. Their dad, John, played for the Dolphins for many, many years. So the most athletic sports family that you can think of going. It could be football, basketball, baseball. It doesn't matter.
Right.
What sport
the Mannings are going to get a lot.
Mannings will get a lot. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
My disdain for Peyton Manning's at a high level. So yes.
Peyton, Eli, Archie, Cooper was probably the best athlete of all of them before he got hurt.
Don't start saying that.
Well, I mean, that's what everybody has said. So
it's always the one who doesn't make it as the best athlete.
Sure.
But yeah, those are. I didn't even thought about that.
The Hasselbecks.
Hasselbecks should be up there. Hey, Dad played.
Yeah.
Dad's got
Vikings,
a Super Bowl ring. Patriots and the Raiders.
But I think he may
maybe for a year.
Yeah.
But I remember Hasselbeck's father from the Patriots, and then he won the Super Bowl ring with the Raiders. I think it was '83. Howie Long was on that team and all that. But that's a good one.
Yeah. A lot of football, but
the McCourty brothers.
McCourty's, yeah.
I mean, you just think about how hard it is for one guy to get to that level, but to have multiple people in your immediate family to get to that level too is something else.
615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Stonehouses just got a vote. Did his dad play?
I don't know. The Suitors in HL. Oh, you guys are rolling in with these. Thank you.
Suitors are a good one.
Thank you, Larry.
I mean, the Stalls in the NHL. You got Mark and Eric and
Read what Tim and Spring Hill wrote in. It's pretty good.
Yeah, the Von Erich family. of
Yes.
Wrestling. Yeah, that's certainly a good one. So keep these coming. 615-737-1025. The best athletic family any sport, right?
Yeah, Rick Dixon, Reggie and Cheryl Miller. That's, man, talk about basketball talent, both of them. It's a shame. We could do a whole nother show one day about athletes that never won a world championship that probably deserved and should have. And Barkley and Reggie Miller. What Reggie Miller did in the playoff game versus the Knicks when he scored like 11 points in 3 seconds, whatever it was, is one of the most all-time fantastic athletic achievements ever.
I laughed so hard at that. I guess it's the State Farm commercial where the guy, like, he says jumping through hoops, and like Caitlin Clark and I think it's Jimmy Butler or somebody up here, and then Jake from State Farm is like, yeah, we'll insure anything, from this car to an old Pacer, and then Reggie Miller pops up like, who said they needed an old Pacer?
I haven't seen that.
It's awesome.
Oh, that's really good.
He's like, who needs an old Pacer? Like,
oh, man, yes.
Okay, a lot of you want to weigh in on this. We'll start things off. Greg Wyshynski going to join us at 9:30. 615-737-1025. The best athletic family. We'll take your calls. We'll take your texts. We're live today here at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes here on 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
All right, my friends, you put this off for way too long. It's time to get it done and move forward with your sex life. And the Tennessee Men's Clinic is the leader in bedroom confidence. And look, the reality is pills often quit working. Guys start making excuses for not coming to bed. Did you know that studies show that men will be more irritable and argumentative before bed just to avoid failing at intimacy? Yeah, I know. Listen, we all hate going to the doctor. But listen, the Tennessee Men's Clinic was created in 2014 to take care of guys just like us. And for a decade, the urologists and providers at the Tennessee Men's Clinic have helped guys with ED and weight loss, and they now even offer aesthetic enhancements and cosmetic procedures. Their ED and weight loss treatments truly are changing lives. And with no surgery, success rates they're seeing as high as 90%. They specialize in seeing guys who think they're out of luck, regain hope that they can be successful in the bedroom and beyond. They even offer same or next day appointments. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year, so stop thinking about it and get in there. Write this number down. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or go online to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com to book an appointment today. That's TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read in a good
When here on a TV theme Thursday.
What is that?
Full
House?
No. I know, like I can see it in my head. Family Matters?
Yes, Chase, you got it. Family Matters.
Family Matters, yeah. So I laughed. Like a few years ago, there was like this fascination of taking like old 80s and 90s TV opens and putting them into something like, today.
Yeah.
And somebody took this with the Family Matters open and did the Titans. And so, like, with Vrabel and John Robinson.
I remember that,
Yeah,
yes.
you remember that? Oh, it was great. And then they did one with the NBA, like I think it was the Cavs. It's like starring LeBron and like all the other, and then it had like and Kendrick Perkins as Coach Perk or something like that.
Oh my goodness! I remember that. And then they did the commercials where they actually did like the dad from Family Matters.
Yeah.
The insurance commercial would walk in and then the fake audience clapping and all that. Nostalgia, man. I'm telling you, the older you get, the more you realize how nostalgia plays a huge part in your life. Like I read the Black Crowes were at the Opry House like 2 weeks ago, and it sold it out. And somebody said it was the greatest concert of all time because I was back in the early '90s again. I was like, nostalgia, man. It takes you back to a time and place where everything was absolutely perfect. So our question of the day is the most athletic family, sports-wise, that you think is the most athletic family. And, we threw out 3 or 4 of these, but you guys are fantastic. 615-737-1025. Who do you think the most athletic family is? And what started the conversation because of Joe Walt, probably going to the Titans next week. His father, John, played at the Chiefs for a long time. And so there's always it doesn't mean you're going to be successful.
Sure.
Does not mean you're going to be successful because look, and as much as I love Walter Payton, his son was terrible. Jarrett Payton was terrible.
Yeah.
And so in the NFL, he's okay college player at Miami. That's fine, whatever. But it translated to the NFL.
He was here.
Yeah, that's right.
For
I took a flyer on him.
Yeah. Walter's a good friend.
Buddy, Jarrett Payton.
All right, so a couple of answers. 1589 says the Watt brothers, hands down. I mean, it is pretty impressive that 3 of them made it to the league. Now, obviously, JJ is a Hall of Famer. TJ is a pretty good start on that track. And Derek was the one that he was a fullback. But, he's been in the league.
I mean, that's 3 brothers in the National Football League that are playing.
I just thought of that, like, same thing. We've left out a pretty big family that probably goes across multiple sports. What about the McCaffreys?
Yeah, I mean, Mom was fantastic.
Dad was the receiver for Denver, right?
Yeah, but won a couple Super Bowls. Christian, and then his brother.
There's another one that's supposedly
at Rice or somewhere that's going to be drafted. Yeah, that's pretty good. But I wouldn't put it in the same level as the Watts.
No, but I mean, isn't Ed McCaffrey's the dad, right?
His daddy.
Yeah, but isn't there another one that went to Vanderbilt that's related somehow?
Billy McCaffrey?
Yeah.
I don't know if
they related?
I don't know. Willie would do it because he's got posters of Billy McCaffrey in his bedroom and on the ceiling.
Jim from Springfield says the Alou family for baseball, Barry family for basketball.
Oh, Rick Barry he had like 18 kids that played, and they were all bald like him. But, yeah, they were fantastic. One of those Barry kids played at Kansas, won a national championship. But the Alou family in baseball.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
The Molinas.
Yep.
Would be another one. Paul says, how about the Howe family in hockey? Gordie Howe playing with his 2 sons, Mark and Marty.
How long did Mark and Marty play in the NHL?
I don't know. I mean, this would have been probably the 80s.
Yeah. Gordie
So-
Howe. I mean, he played into his 50s. I mean, it's just fantastic.
I know.
Gosh.
Okay, so is this is Alden. The Baileys in the NFL also have the all-name team. Champ Bailey, Boss Bailey. I think the youngest, Stud Bailey, played in college. Is that
that's
right?
a good one. I don't know. Look that up there. Tim Hasselbeck has told us that he thought that is it Champ that he played with is the best athlete that he's ever
and I've heard that too.
been around.
The Ripkins in baseball, Cal, Billy, and then Cal Sr. was a manager.
Yeah. Oh, Cal Sr. wasn't a good man. I remember they went 0-21 in 1988. It was really bad.
The Williams sisters in tennis, and then, of course, the Kelseys.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty. I mean, look, I know Travis is a bonehead and all that other stuff. But don't take away from what Jason Kelsey. I Jason Kelsey
They're both Hall of Famers.
is before all this started. Might be one of the top 3 centers ever played football.
Yeah.
And I told you this last fall. I spent an entire game. This is how boring my life is. Watching Jason Kelsey not only snap shotgun and get to the second level, but pancake dudes.
Yeah.
And he would pull. How many centers pull in the National Football? Very little throughout history have pulled. Jason Kelsey was absolutely amazing as a center. He's a first. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then don't get rid of the Hall of Fame. But yeah, those two are good.
Well, and look, Jason's story is fantastic too. He was, I think, a tight end. It goes to Cincinnati as a walk-on. His coach, one of the coaches there, gets him to convert to line. Was like, look, you're built to be an offensive lineman. It makes him into a center. Goes through all that, ends up getting to the league. Almost gets cut by the Eagles at some point. You know, Andy Reid gives him a chance there. He turns it around and becomes what he became, a Hall of Famer.
Right. Yeah.
So, and look, I'll say this. Both of them have something that I wish more athletes had, and that's personality. And, there's so many times that if a guy shows personality, then –
Well, here's the deal. In coming on this side of the media landscape, a lot of these guys think that I have an agenda, and I being the media world, right?
Sure.
Now, there are a few guys. I mean, does Paul Kaharski have an agenda? Sure he does.
Sure.
Some of the best sports writers have an agenda. So a lot of times they think that because you're in there talking to them that Chase McCabe's
you're out
got.
to get
We don't. I know you well. You know me well. I don't have an agenda.
Right.
I'm going to ask you softball questions for the most part, unless there's something that
fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That regards that. So Jason Kelsey understood all that, and that's why it made him really fun to talk to.
Robbie Stanley just texted in with a good one from hockey, the Kachucks. Of course, Keith Kachuk and then Matthew and Brady Kachuk now playing, so that's certainly a good one. Let's see. Keep these rolling in, 615-737-1025. Jack says, here's a rogue one. The Smith wrestling family, 6 World Olympic titles, 11 NCAA titles, 22 All-Americans. I'm not familiar with them, but that's fantastic.
That's real wrestling.
Right, sure.
Right.
The Curry family, 0908.
Yeah.
So Del Curry and then Steph and Seth.
Yep. They're good, man. Del Curry, he was my age. I mean, when he was at Virginia Tech, he was,
Sure.
launching 35-footers and was and he had been playing for the Hornets, was great, man.
Bobby and Brett Hull, another hockey one. Gene and Spring Hill, the Boone family in MLB. Ray Boone, his son Bob, Bob's son Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great one. That's a great one, yes.
The Griffeys, good one. The Rodmans, Dennis, of course, Trinity, top-tier women's national soccer player, and mom was a college soccer player as well.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, okay. I like the ones that like one person, but then you can trace the lineage.
Yes.
Back, Middle Henry. Apparently, no one saw the dancing ability of the Osmonds. True athletes, right there.
And yesterday was Jimmy Osmond's birthday.
It sure
so
was.
thanks for calling in, Middle Henry, because the Osmonds were fantastic.
Yeah, C-Mac's family, brother getting drafted this year. Both parents were successful in college, and dad was successful in the NFL, I would say. More votes for the Mannings, and we didn't mention Arch earlier. That's now part of that.
By the way, Gordie Howe's son, one of these is Mark. That's why I like this, because it makes me look stuff up. Mark Howe played in the hockey from 71 to 95.
Oh, wow.
He was with the Flyers from 83 to 92, 10 years with the Flyers. Wow. I did not know that.
There's the Joneses, Chandler and John Jones. Chandler Jones, football player. John Jones, UFC fighter. Isn't there a third one? I think there's a third one.
Paul Jones, maybe? Fuck, 17.
Arthur Jones. Yeah, former player. I knew there was a third one. They just went as big.
These are great, man.
So that's a good one. That's from Nick and Franklin. Jeff and Hendersonville did it as well. Another for the Molinas. Oh, wow. I didn't know about that. This is 8309. How about the Fullers? Vincent, Corey, Kendall, and Kyle, all in the NFL. Vincent played for the Titans. Remember
That's right.
Penny Fuller?
He
I didn't know-
intercepted the pass on Monday Night Football versus the Saints.
Yeah, I didn't know. He had
He's
brothers that played.
coaching. Oh my God! I had this talk with Keith Bullock about this, where he is now. Yeah,
I loved Vinny Fuller.
maybe he's
because
a lawyer now or something.
He was one of those guys that like, he was a Fisher guy for sure.
Yeah.
Like just always worked hard and like wasn't that household name that like if you said the Titans he wouldn't be the first one that came to mind. But he was always a guy that was going to be in the middle of a play.
He filled those needs what that team had.
Oh, yeah.
Vincent Fuller is now he played 6 years with the Titans, 1 year with the Lions because he got up there, and that's where
He went with Schwartz, right?
that's right. Yeah. He's a lawyer. He's
wow.
got his JD, got his Joe Dubin post-playing career at Fordham University School of Law. Do you think you could make it through law school?
Hell no.
I'd last a week because
No.
then I'd lose an argument and start fighting.
Right. Well, and I'm not patient enough to read and like memorize all the
Right.
stuff you got to remember. Yeah. Like what is it? All this Latin stuff and what it means.
No.
I'd make every time somebody said pro bono, I'd start laughing, make a joke.
That's why I got Blair Durham on retainer, man.
We've left out a big one in this state.
Okay.
The Colquitts.
Punters, though, man.
Yeah, no, don't do that. They're still athletes.
I'm kidding, man.
I know. I mean, like, look, I've left out a big one with racing the Earnhardts. I mean, it's 3 generations. The Petties. So
What's Kerry Earnhardt doing now?
Kerry Earnhardt
Was he the firstborn?
Yeah, and he didn't really know his dad until later in life.
That's got to be weird between him and Dale Jr., though. Are they buddies?
Yeah, no, they're very close.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good. I like to hear
So
that.
Kerry, Dale Jr., and Kelly are all really close, and then Taylor was the youngest, and I don't know if they have much.
Is
to do
that the
her.
one with Teresa?
Teresa, yeah.
Okay.
So-
But Teresa and Dale Jr. aren't close.
No, Teresa's not close to any of them. So
They buy her out of. She still owns it.
she owns everything. There's stuff. The Dell Jr. download goes into a lot of this stuff, but there's a shop behind DEI that they call the Deerhead Shop, which was like the original shop and where Dale's office was and
Right.
everything. That building has not been open since February 18th, 2001. She does not let anybody go in there.
Does she go in there?
Nope.
This is another topic.
Yeah.
Family drama that
Yeah.
just. Now you
yeah.
got me. I almost spent the afternoon now looking up drama in the Earnhardt family.
Yeah, there you go. There's
you
a
for
lot of
this.
it, for sure. Coming up next, we will talk the playoffs and the matchup with the Predators and the Canucks. Greg Wyshynski, ESPN, will join us next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
All right, my friends, my time to tell you about one of the best things down that's going on. We're talking about Middle Tennessee's best health care in the comfort of your own home. We're talking about medical house calls, where the nearest clinic is not only your home, but where you are. The website, medicalhousecalls.com. And listen, no more heading to an urgent care, no more sitting in a waiting room, no more getting in your car, driving across town in this just crazy Nashville traffic. Board-certified nurse practitioners and physician's assistants, they come to you. And again, don't take my word for this. Just read the numerous fantastic reviews that Medical House Calls is getting. It is a game changer every single day. In fact, Chuck McDowell, our friend, was a client. He loved the service, the commitment, the care so much, he bought the company. For years, I had to leave work early to check on my mom when she was sick, but now you can have Medical House Calls check in on your loved ones to make sure everything and everybody is okay. Visit the website today, medicalhousecalls.com. That's medicalhousecalls.com.
Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're live today at Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel. And Dr. Crane back at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. It's time for the playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs in the National Hockey League. We say hello to Greg Wyshynski of ESPN, brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Greg, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's really weird, though, like how much is still up in the air going into tonight as far as the Western Conference goes. It's everything else is set except for, a few more of these chess pieces moving potentially tonight.
Yeah, I know. I will say, though, I am glad to know the Predators are going to play the Vancouver Canucks. That is set in stone now. I know there's some other things that can happen elsewhere, like, L.A. could pass Vegas and all those things, but it certainly helps from a planning standpoint and the fact that the Predators ended their regular season on Monday, that now they know their opponent.
Yeah, for sure. And it should be a fun series. I mean, like, honestly, the Canucks have been a team that we've all been trying to figure out exactly how good they are and how good they can play in the postseason. I think that, defensively, there's been a through line throughout the season of them playing well. I think offensively, they're overly reliant on their core top players. And the Predators are a different kind of opponent than I think a lot of people thought Vancouver would see. I mean, I think we were all anticipating that Vancouver would see someone more plotting and methodical like the Los Angeles Kings, or a team like Vegas that could really, shut you down with the way that they play D under Coach Bruce Cassidy. To see a Coyotes in my mind, a Predators team that plays with such pace go up against the Canucks is going to be a really interesting one.
I tell you what else too, Greg, is I'm going to love the coaching matchup. You got Brunette in his first, full year as a head coach, but Rick Tocchet, what he's done with Vancouver, I think these two coaches match up well, so that should make it a lot of fun too. Yeah,
we should just rewrite the rules, and whoever wins the series wins the Jack Adams. Let's just make it clean. Get rid of all the rigmarole of voting, and just whoever wins gets the Jack Adams. No, it's going to be really cool. And obviously with the work that Bruno's done to get this team into the playoffs has been well documented, and the work that Tocchet has done to transform that Canucks team is well documented. The defensive improvement year over year, and the way that he kind of put the hammer down very early in the season to get their attention as far as threatening playing time and things like that. I think he's done a marvelous job with that team. And getting them to play well, and obviously to get them, keeping their heads up above water and finishing first in the division.
Okay, Greg, two-part question here, my man. First part, tell me why the Preds can win this series against Vancouver. And the second part, tell me how they cannot win this series.
Well, okay, let's do it with the second part first. They might not win the series because I think Vancouver is a deeply talented team that really has found its stride. It's interesting to see the parallels. I mean, obviously they have Quinn Hughes, the Predators have Roman Josi, the Forsberg O'Reilly thing, and then you've got Pettersson and like JT Miller on the other side. There's a little bit of a mirror aspect to some of the parts of these teams. But overall, like the Canucks have, with home ice and the way that they play D and just the performances they're getting out of their star players, it might be a little too much for the Predators to handle. With that being said, they could win the series if they put a scare into them. I mean, the bottom line for this Canucks team is that there's a load of expectation on them, but no one really knows how they're going to react to that expectation in the playoffs if they face adversity. They haven't faced a lot of it this year, be it, prolonged losing streaks or injuries. And so, if the Predators go in there and punch them in the mouth in one of these first two games and come back to Nashville with a split or with a lead, it remains to be seen how Vancouver can handle that. They're not the most experienced deep playoff run team.
I go back to 2017 when we always, in Nashville forever, Greg, we'll always go back to the great Stanley Cup run. I remember talking to PK Subban when they're going to play Chicago. He goes, we want to steal one of the two. He goes, but if you can get that first game on the road and put that doubt in their mind, like we're here to play, he goes, you're going to win. And I'm just thinking, man, they go up there, get that first game on the road, plant that seed of doubt. This could be great for the Nashville Predators.
Yeah, and I think that's the design for any of these teams that are looking at long odds in their series. I think the Capitals are probably in the same boat against the New York Rangers. I mean, nobody's given the Caps really a chance in that series, but if they go in and they eke one out against them, then who knows? So yeah, that's completely right. I mean, they're going to have to take one of two in Vancouver to have a prayer in this series. And if they do, it'll be interesting to see how much momentum the Predators can ride when they get back to Nashville, and what that does psychologically to the Canucks.
Yeah, you mentioned the Caps. Greg Wyshynski is with us. The Detroit Red Wings just have to, I mean, the heartbreak like of how that all happened, and the Caps end up getting that last spot.
I mean, it was one of the most unprecedented races I've ever sseen. I'm a guy that wants to see the playoffs expanded beyond 16 teams, but this was not the season to make that argument, because like the finish in the East was dope. I mean, the idea of the Capitals advancing in that game because the Flyers pulled their goalie in a tie game, because the Flyers thought they had to win in regulation, even though they had already been eliminated because Detroit made the playoffs. Like, I hate doing math. You had to do a lot of math in the last game of the season for these teams. But the bottom line is that, to have the Capitals win a game that then knocked out three other teams on their last game of the season is just wild. It's a wild finish. And, Detroit's going to be real pissed off that they didn't make the cut. They certainly fumbled the bag down the end. I don't think anyone's going to be more mad than the Flyers, because they were locked into the number 3 seed in their division for like the longest time. And all they did was, finish a couple points out of the playoffs and completely screw their draft lottery odds for a team that's still very much in a rebuild. So, all those teams I think are going to be disappointed. And the Capitals are an interesting team. I don't think they're going to beat the Rangers, but they've been a team that has been defying the odds and defying the predictions of a lot of people this season. So it wouldn't shock me to see them shock them.
There'll be a lot of time to talk about, the offseason and everything, but is this kind of the end of the line for Pittsburgh, and they're going to be different moving forward now that they've missed the playoffs?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that core is signed through next season. And, as they showed with Sid playing down the stretch, he's still got something left in the tank. They're kind of locked into trying to do this again next year. Now, they might do it with a younger supporting cast. They might change the vibe. Obviously, like Jeff Carter retired last night. So there's going to be changes on the roster. But the thing about like Kyle Dubas and that team is that he was tasked with not only trying to transition this team to whatever comes next after Sid and company leave, but also to maximize their window to win now. And the bottom line is that as long as those guys are under contract, they're going to have to try to win. They can't go into a full rebuild. So kind of expect more of the same next year. Try to figure out the right mix of players to eke into the playoffs, and then hope that in a 7-game series, Crosby and Malkin and Letang and Carlson and whoever's in goal is going to be enough to try to win a series.
We'll probably get an announcement maybe sometime today, but the Coyotes said goodbye to Arizona last night, and looks like they are officially going to move to Salt Lake City. I know there's all this stuff about, current owner could get a kind of a Cleveland Browns kind of thing, could end up getting another franchise and having a team back in 5 years or so. Do you think that that's realistic, that the NHL would do that when they finally expand again, which I guess is going to happen? Or do you think it's truly the end of hockey in Arizona?
So two things. First of all, it will happen today. The Board of Governors are meeting later today, and they're just going to, sign off on a transaction that the executive committee already signed off on. So we'll have a formal announcement of relocation later today. I'm going to guess the team will be called the Utah Somethings rather than Salt Lake City is my guess at this point. As far as Arizona goes, they had to figure out a way to make sure that Alex Murillo wasn't going to sue them into oblivion by trying to take this team away from him. And the best way to do that was to keep this idea that he can maybe win this land auction this summer and build the thing he wants to build. And then, within 5 years, if he hits all these benchmarks for arena construction and everything else, they'll give him the opportunity to buy an expansion team. Now, I don't think anyone thinks it's going to happen. I don't think the NHL thinks that he's going to build this thing. I don't think that a lot of people think he has the money to build it. I don't think that people think he's going to hit the benchmarks the NHL puts into this contract to enable him to activate that reignition clause to start the franchise again. And at the end of the day, the thing I'm really interested in when this announcement comes out is, does Alex Murillo, the Coyotes owner, need Board of Governors approval to to restart the franchise within 5 years. Because if he does, they might not give it to him, even if he does all this stuff with the arena and everything else. So you mentioned, the market. They're going to go back. Like, there is a reason Gary Bettman has fought tooth and nail for the better part of 15 years to keep that team in the Phoenix area. They love the market. They know it's fertile. They know with the right owner, the right team, stability, a new arena, that they can really make a killing there. The problem is that, that never happened under the Coyotes' different owners. And it certainly won't happen if Morello gets the team back because, I think he's torched every bridge that he had with the fan base, with the local community in the way that team has conducted business in the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, it's sad for the fan base, but going to be interesting to watch for sure. Looking forward to the playoffs. We'll be talking next week when the playoffs are underway. Thanks so much, Greg. Appreciate it.
Listen, sad? You don't know sad until you've watched a bunch of Coyotes fans crying while somebody's playing James Brown's I Feel Good on the arena loudspeakers last night at the end of that game. Now that is sad. That was the saddest thing of the sad things last night.
Wait, they're Coyote fans? That's
oh, come on.
Come on now.
It's the same thing they say about Devils fans. They're super passionate. There just aren't enough of them.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, Greg, if you make it to town next week, Chasey will take you to the Tim McGraw concert a week from today, which will postpone the Nashville Predators playoff game if they come back when they come back here.
Well, that will make an even 100 Tim McGraw concerts for me. So no, I'm kidding,
wow.
of course.
Never took you as a fan, Greg. Okay, nice.
Well, I was a Tug McGraw fan. My dad tells me he was a good pitcher, so I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was indeed. Awesome. We'll talk next week.
Anytime.
Greg Wyshynski, ESPN, joining us on the show as he does every Thursday. Always look forward to those conversations. We'll get back into our question of the day. We're live today at Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel. The Chase and Big Joe Show is presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game here on this Thursday. Appreciate Greg Wyshynski for joining us. Hey, don't miss Nashville's Best 2024 NFL Draft coverage, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Hard to believe it's a week from today. Next Thursday, you can stop by Twin Peaks in Madison at 6 o'clock for live draft coverage. Get the best draft coverage as we break down each pick at the home of the 29-degree beer. Coverage presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment, ESPN Bet, and Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. And our panel next week is going to be the best. Jared Stillman, of course, will anchor all the coverage. We'll have D-Mase, we'll have Chris Sanders, and ESPN's Trevor Maddich will join us.
Trevor
this
Maddich.
week. So looking forward to that.
I like old Trevor Maddich.
Oh, yeah. Trevor
Got himself a national championship ring. Got his butt kicked in the Super Bowl by the Bears. First round
that's right.
draft choice by the Patriots. I like Trevor. I like what he talks about. I like it because he comes from a lineman perspective, and he's not one of these handsome, fancy receivers like Chris Sanders and Derek Mason.
or quarterback like Tim Hasselbeck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so looking forward to that next Thursday night. Our question of the day, JoJo, is?
As what's the most athletic sports family that you can think of? And what we're loving about this is that it's not just football, but we're getting racing, wrestling, hockey. I mean, all the sports are being represented here. Somebody still know about the Mario Andretti, that family.
The Andretti, yeah.
I mean, I didn't even think about that.
There's several in like the Unsers. You can put the Unsers in there. In NASCAR, we mentioned the Pettys and the Earnhardts. Look, locally, I'll put the Marlins in there. Sterling, Cuckoo Marlin. Stedman did some racing around here.
Right.
Sterling, the grandson, is a racer as well.
So what, kind of a clarification with this is what determines, the next step. Like, you talk about the Matthews family.
Yeah.
Jake Matthews with the Falcons, Bruce, of course, Clay Jr., and then, Bruce's son Kevin played 2 or 3 years. I mean, does you make it a year in the league? Do you have to establish yourself? There's all kind of like parameters that you have to talk about to be that. But the ones that are clear cut, like J.J. Watt's family, the Matthews family, Bosa's, all
Mannings.
those are clear cut. Mannings,
I think what I like about this question is to me it's just kind of up to your interpretation of where you want to take it. I mean, there's so many places that you can take this. Like, I obviously go to the racing side, the wrestling. The Von Erichs was a good one, but I mean, you have the Hart family, the Bret Hart and Owen Hart, and all of them had something to do with wrestling. Stu Hart,
who was Macho Man's brother.
He was the genius.
Leapin' Lanny Poffo.
Poffo, Lanny Poffo.
That's it.
Yeah, he was the he played the genius.
But if you think about the highest level, I mean, the Mannings Super Bowls. I mean, the one that Rick Dixon said in about Reggie Miller and Cheryl Miller. Yeah. I mean, being at the very top of their sport, that's something else to consider into consideration. And,
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. The nurses, Darnell Nurse, who's a D-man for the Oilers. Cousin Sarah was one of the best women's hockey players, and Darnell's sister Kia is a WNBA player, and their uncle is Donovan McNabb.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one.
A pretty good family.
We'll get into more of these later in the show. 615-737-1025 is anytime we bring this up, the text line just blows up. So keep them coming. But coming up next, I'm going to do one of your favorite things.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to look at a mock draft. But Dane Brugler went through the whole draft, all 7 rounds.
We got to get this guy a life.
Who does he have coming to Tennessee? We'll look at that and talk about that. Coming up next, 1 week from today, is the draft. It's the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes today. Appreciate them for having us here. 1 week away from the NFL Draft. What will the Titans do at number 7? I'm sure we will break that down over and over again until they finally do it. And then we'll break down what they actually did over and over again. But that's how it goes. We are talking about that today and got the playoffs going. Our question of the day is blowing up the text line, so we'll continue to get to that. The basically best athletic family. It can be any sport, pro, college, whatever, however you want to take it. 615-737-1025. Okay. I looked at I do enjoy looking at mock drafts. I know you don't, but I always find it interesting when somebody attempts to do the entire draft, all 257 picks. Dane Brugler of The Athletic did that. I believe he was on the morning show earlier this week as well on Robbie and Rex Road. But he went through all 7 rounds, and so I'm like, okay, let's see what he did for the Titans. Now, keep in mind, Titans do not have a third-round pick. Going through this mock, he does not have a trade for them where they move into the third round. So first round, obviously, he has the quarterbacks, Caleb Williams going to Chicago, Jaden Daniels to Washington, Drake May, 3rd overall to New England. Minnesota trades up to 4 with Arizona to select J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
So he's got 4 quarterbacks off the board with the first 4 picks. Arizona then trades with the Chargers to move back to 5th, where they select Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver out of Ohio State. The Giants at pick 6 take Malik Neighbors, and then the Titans at 7 select Joe Alt.
Good.
Offensive tackle. Very good.
Good. Thank you. Who's this guy named? Dame what?
Dane Brugler.
Dane Brugler. Thank you for getting Joe Alt so we don't have to sit there and decipher, trade back and trade down. Just take him and be done with it.
This is what he says. For the sake of being different, I could throw another name in here, but why go away from what makes sense? Alt fills a clear hole, and along with 2023 first-round left guard Peter Skoronski, would give the Titans one of the more promising left sides of an offensive line in the league.
Love it. Love it. I think it's great. And this whole Brock Bowers talk, as a coach friend of mine said yesterday, if they draft Brock Bowers, go ahead and put him at left tackle. Because you're going to need a left. I mean, you're going to need a left. I don't know why we're debating this about offensive line. I don't know why we're doing this.
What's funny is, so there's been really 6 players that have been linked to the Titans at 7. And what's interesting is Neighbors goes the pick before at 6. Titans select Alt. The Falcons at 8, according to Brugler, take Dallas Turner, who's one that has been linked to the Titans, the edge out of Alabama. 9, Roma Dunze goes to Chicago. And then Brock Bowers at number 10 to the Jets.
Well, that'd be not good.
Now, look, him and Rodgers for a year or 2, that could be an interesting little combination.
That's great. But the Tennessee Titans need a left tackle.
Yeah.
That's to stop doing all this stuff. They don't need a Dallas Turner. They don't need a Malik Neighbors. I'm going to argue the receiver thing. There's only one football to go around.
Sure.
Get your left tackle. You got your guard. You got your center. That left side line's solid. You're good.
And then you can maybe tweak the right side too.
Yeah.
Because I think Jared made a good point yesterday that I think there's going to be a few tackles that are still free agents that are probably going to sign after the draft. And the Titans are probably going to be in on one of those guys that you can put on the right side.
Put on the right side and you be done and go from there. This whole thing about, to get a receiver in here. No, don't. And this whole thing about, Hopkins he's 31. I mean, didn't Tom Brady, haven't we done this stuff age-wise? I mean, Jerry Rice was great into his 30s. Stop saying because you're 31, you're not as good as a 24. I will take a seasoned 31-year-old DeAndre Hopkins over any receiver in this draft for the next 5 years. Any of them.
I don't know if I'm going to go next 5 years, but
next 5 years. Right now, give me Hopkins.
Yeah, look, I'm with you on Hopkins, but I still think at some point in the draft you need to draft a receiver.
Not in the first 3 picks.
No, well, that's fine. But, I mean, if you get a third rounder, that's where I would do it. If they can figure out how to get into the third round, that's where I take the receiver.
a receiver is not a critical need of this football team right now. It's not. It's not.
You say that. You say that. Okay. I don't look. You are basically basing this on, and I'm 100% with you on Hopkins. All right, Hopkins is great.
Yep.
Okay. You've signed Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. There's your 1-2. Now you're banking on Burks doing something, which I'm not ready to do.
I'm not even bringing his name up. I forgot he's on the team.
Right. Okay. Well,
then.
then if you forget he's on the team, do you think NWI Nick Westbrook-Akina is the third? The third?
Why does everybody hate on him? He catches
Look,
the ball.
I like him, but he's not. To me, he's not a 3. He's a role player.
All right, I'll take it.
So I still want one of these young receivers.
How many teams utilize that third receiver? I mean, maybe 4 or 5 teams, maybe 8.
I mean,
maybe
Cincinnati did. They passed it around with obviously Chase and Higgins.
You named 1 out of 32 teams. Okay. I'm just saying, it's the third receiver. Yeah, it's great to have, but it's not the crucial, critical part what this football team needs.
Understand.
Get the tackle. See, they're trying to come between us.
I know.
That's what these draft mock guys, they're trying to come between you and
Chase
me.
And Big Joe yell at each other.
Yeah, they're trying to do that. Will you be disappointed if they take Joe Alt? Will you be
No.
Chase McKay be disappointed?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, that's the pick.
All right.
That should be the pick.
Good.
He has the Raiders picking at 29 with a trade with Detroit and selecting Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington.
See, I think, and listen to Pierce and reading it, I think to me the Raiders are the X factor. I think they could go all in and move all the way up and do what Ditka did in '99 with Ricky Williams, give everything for one player as they try to get a quarterback. They're the ones. Because I think Mark Davis wants to make a splash. I think Pierce is, that team loves Antonio Pierce as head coach.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to make some big splash.
So we move into the second round in Dane Brugler's mock draft. He has at 38 the Tennessee Titans selecting Marshawn Nealon, edge rusher out of Western Michigan.
No.
I don't know.
No. Let's stop with these. Let's stop with these guys where they just, the Western Michigan guys. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I know that, but no, man. Give me a guy who plays every Saturday against top-level competition. We did this with John Robinson. He tried to be cute and draft all these guys at lower levels. How'd that work out for him? Not well.
I'll tell you who I want at 38 if he's there, and according to this, he would be. Darius Robinson, defensive lineman from Missouri. That's a big boy. Could put him next to Simmons and help Simmons replace Autry.
Okay.
That's what I would do that. If you're not going to go, because there's some receivers that are kind of hovering around that area. There's some tackles. I mean, you could hypothetically at 38 go ahead and get your right tackle of the future. You could do left tackle at 7 with Alt, and then get right tackle at 38, and then you're done. You're done. The offensive line.
Well, now this tackle they got from the Brown, Leroy Watson, is he any good?
I don't think so. I think he's more of a
Callahan
depth piece.
knows him.
I mean, there's obviously a reason that Bill wanted him, but I think he's a depth piece.
Okay.
He might be the swing tackle. Some notables out of round number 2 in Dane Brugler's mock draft. Ladd McConkey, the wide receiver out of Georgia, is the first pick in that draft to the Panthers in that round, I should say.
Poor guy.
Got a couple of offensive tackles that go. Keon Coleman, the wide receiver out of Florida State, to the Chargers right before the Titans pick. And then a run on corners. Darius Robinson, who I just mentioned, he has going 41 overall to the Packers, who will get that pick from the Jets. Excuse me. Sorry. And then a couple of receivers. Xavier Worthy from Texas goes to the Saints. Ricky Pearsall from Florida, I really like him, goes to the Colts. Troy Franklin, the wide receiver out of Oregon, goes to the Jags. So a couple of those.
Who's he got? Titans 4th. Give me Titans 4th round.
Yeah.
He's going to tip.
I will.
Because right now they don't. For those that don't, they don't have a 3rd rounder.
Correct.
They got 1st, 2nd.
Yeah.
Who they have the 4th?
And real quick, he had Bo Nix going 52nd overall to the Rams. 4th round, which is where the Titans will pick next at pick 106. I don't think I like this pick. Cam Hart, cornerback out of Notre Dame.
Why?
I don't think they need to take a corner there. I mean, I know that's the 4th round, but you can never have too many corners, just like you can never have too many wide receivers. But to me, I'm doing. I don't know. I'm probably going edge or D line or something there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they've got the two good corners there already signed, and yeah, I'm with you on that one.
He has the Giants getting Michael Pratt, the quarterback out of Tulane, at pick 107. So is that the answer for Daniel Jones?
It might be. I don't know. Who's he got? Let's finish this off. 5th round Titans.
For in the 5th round, the Titans had traded with the Panthers, 142. So at 146, a pick they got from Minnesota, they take wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
Jacob Cowing from Arizona. I like him. I've looked at him. I like him, but it's 5th round pick. So who knows?
What's 6th round? Finish it off. Finish strong.
The 6th round. Joe is so excited. Pick 182, Jaheim Bell, tight end from Florida State.
Oh, okay. Jaheim, I've watched him. He's really good. All right. So here's the deal with this thing. If I would have done this by like the 4th round, I'm just throwing guys out just to finish.
You just
Teacher needs it by 11. I'm just throwing names out there.
You're just like C. 242 in the 7th round, Ladarius Henderson, a guard from Michigan. And 252, Darius Muasa, linebacker from UCLA.
Oh, they finished strong. Okay, that's good. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I mean, that's just – God bless. Who's this guy again? Dane Brugler?
Yeah.
God bless him for putting all that together because that's a lot. What if he hit on every single one of them? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Then give me your lottery numbers.
Right. That'd be the best, do all that. Again, I think the Raiders are a big factor in this. Of course, the Vikings are with all their love for J.J. McCarthy. And then Jim Harbaugh. I mean, he's the one that's thrown the wrench. He started all this.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy in mid-January was not talked about like he is now.
Right.
And then Harbaugh's done all this. And Harbaugh could still take all at 5 and just throw a kink in everything.
He also has pick 197, which is the 6th round. The Atlanta Falcons select quarterback Joe Milton III.
I dig it.
Out of Tennessee.
I've become his biggest fan now, man. I want to see him on an NFL team.
I want to see him get drafted.
What was this report last night you had somebody move to a tight end? Stop it.
Yeah. I feel like ever since Tebow, that's always the argument. Like if a guy that doesn't translate to the NFL as a quarterback, it's like, make him a tight end.
Yeah.
Which Tebow probably should have done. But, whatever.
God, why didn't he do that?
I don't know. That's a great question. That's one of those what ifs. Like, what if he had changed to a tight end or H-back or something like that?
I mean, you couldn't stop him running the football in Florida. I mean, it was amazing. But you know what? He's happy and he's whatever. He's making a positive impact on the world. But I like to see Milton land somewhere.
615-737-1025. Let's say hello to Sean Henry, who has chimed in on our conversation. I have a feeling I know where this is going. Hi, Sean.
Hey, guys, riveting stuff. I can't tell you how much I enjoy you guys reading someone else's fantasy draft. And I was into it until you picked on the Giants. Do not tell me the Giants are taking someone from Tulane at the quarterback position. You know, I love Phil Simms, but we found one diamond in the rough at a bad quarterback school, and now we draft Duke quarterback. Now Tulane, just stop it. I drove off the road. You made me cry. Go back and talk about offensive linemen, centers, great.
So you don't like Michael Pratt?
Really, I'm not saying I like him or I hate him, but I'm tired of the Giants drafting quarterbacks to try to rekindle the Phil Simms spirit. And I love Phil Simms. Everyone knows that.
Sure.
Right.
No,
so you mean to tell me, Sean, when your team drafted Dave Brown, you weren't happy?
You know, a great trivia question is the New York Giants were the only team in the NFL to grab 2 new quarterbacks at number 1. Not 1, but 2. And look at where we're sitting right now. What could be better, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, again, when is the draft? Because I can't wait for you to grade your own mock draft.
It's a week from today.
I don't know what I'm going to do in the morning without the mock draft. So hopefully the draft's not until June.
Look, it's a Sean. It's a week from today. The Predators will be sitting up 2-0 on Vancouver, getting ready to come back to Nashville.
Wait, the Predators are in the playoffs?
They sure are.
I didn't know.
I think you knew that.
But I do know who we're drafting with our 7th pick for the San Francisco 49ers. So, woo! Let's go, boys! Raiders gold! I appreciate you
Thank you,
guys.
Sean.
Hey, we're going to talk tomorrow morning. I might be sitting on a plane, but I look forward to that time too. I will prepare my draft.
Awesome.
Good.
We will discuss. Thank you, Sean.
All right.
Sean.
Love you guys.
You too.
Best call right there. Thank you, Sean.
That was good. Sean Henry joining the show, the CEO of the Nashville Predators.
What plane's he talking about? Where's he going?
Well, he's probably going with the team to Vancouver. So, there you go.
Okay.
He's a
He's a
important
good
guy.
utility player.
He is a good utility
Burnett looks
player.
down the bench like, who can we
Henry.
play? Ah, Henry, get in there.
We'll have more coming here on the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. All right, ESPN Bet. We have been talking about it. We got playoffs in basketball. They're coming up in hockey. Baseball is underway. So many different sports, and ESPN Bet is ready to take you through all of them this spring. The exclusive sports book of ESPN has it all, including, and this is my favorite part, offers and promotions from their personalities like Scott Van Pelt and Stephen A. Smith. So from the playoff intensity to getting on the links and out to the ballpark, there's no better time to be a sports fan. New users get $100 in bonus bets for making any sportsbook bet. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. You must be 21 years or older and in Tennessee. For problem gambling support, call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. See the app for details. Hey, join Nashville Super Speedway and the City of Lebanon for Speedway on the Square this Saturday, April 20th from 1 to 6 in downtown Lebanon. You can see Big Joe from 1 to 3. Stop by and bring the family for a day filled with inflatables, face painting, balloon art, live music, and a ticket giveaway to the Ally 400 NASCAR Cup Series race at 3:30. So looking forward to that coming up this Saturday.
Raymond and Franklin. Can't wait till the draft is over. Every show is like Groundhog Day. Love it, man.
I get it. I know. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm ready to talk about a football team. I'm ready to talk about, okay, so I I did something yesterday. I was looking at the Titans roster because I wanted something. I forgot what I was looking for, but I looked through the whole thing that the roster currently constructed, and I just go, damn, that's a bad football team.
Yeah, it really is. That's like a 3-win team you got right there looking at you.
I mean, I know it's incomplete, but it's just like, they're good players.
Yeah.
But it just puts in perspective how many holes they truly have to fill.
And all the work that Callahan's got going for him.
Yeah.
That's why I really like the defensive coordinator because it's attack, and guys like to attack. No football player wants to sit back and analyze and react. I mean, just act. Just attack the football, and that's what I like about this. I want to go back real quick to the 2013 draft. We're looking at all the high praise for these players that are coming in, and I'll never forget, that's the Chance Warmack draft, right? And it's like, well, he pancaked Notre Dame and just all the tangibles, and you just knew when he got here, there was something off, and it just – and that was the thing with these Alabama players, like with Trent Richardson, with Eddie Lacy, with a few of them that get here. And I think with Chance Warmack, and this sounds really weird, right? But follow me on this. I think he came from a situation in Alabama where he was a god. And then
they never lost.
And then he comes here, and there's Bruce Matthews on his ass. There's Munchak. I mean, it was a whole nother level. Like, forget everything you learned in college. And he just seemed lost. That's why when I read all these great raving reviews about players, I'm like, you just don't know. You truly do not know what's going on. I talked to a guy one time that he lives here in town. He was with the Chargers in '98 when it came down to Peyton and Ryan Leaf, and that was a big thing with the Colts too as well. It's like, hey, and the Colts will tell you, we had Peyton Manning from the get. No, they didn't. It was like 52-48. I mean, it was still – up until the day before the draft, I mean, it was one of those things. And they're like, so the guy for the Chargers was like, look, we did our due diligence on Ryan Leaf, and it was great. And he was I'm glad he's great now.
He's fantastic to talk to.
Yes,
because he's very open about.
Yep, he really looks like he blamed nobody but himself.
Yep,
didn't blame you or me. But they were like, we thought we had it. We thought we had this next quarterback who would take us the next 10, 12, and he didn't. And so you just never know. I mean,
then they got Breeze and
Philip Rivers, and then
Phillip
went
Rivers,
on for forever. So that's why, Joe Alt sounds great, but until we see him in a football game in September, you'll never truly know what you got.
Yeah. So you bring up that draft, and, you kind of started this off that Chance Warmack, was one of those guys was hyped up, but he just never panned out.
Right.
Like he was, he was a bust because he was a 10th overall selection.
Hey, he got a Super Bowl ring with the Eagles.
He did. The most overhyped player in that draft class for the Titans, and he might be on the list, like overhyped and just colossal failure all time with the Titans.
Okay, with the Titans.
Yeah, with the Titans.
Okay.
Justin Hunter at 34.
Yeah, I think that was.
They traded up to get him. High second round, receiver out of Tennessee. He was terrible. He never, I don't even think he showed flashes of being good.
Nope, he didn't. And he ended up going from here to the Dolphins.
Was he the one that –
the Bills, Steelers.
Was he the one that who was it? Jefferson was the wide receivers coach that made him wear the just a guy on his jersey?
There was something along
the Jag.
Yeah. Yes.
Was that Sean Jefferson? Is that who that was?
It might have been because Van was here at that time in high school.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Justin Hunter. Oh, what a disappointment.
He got 2 seasons with the Steelers. Went on that. All right, so Justin Hunter's story real quick, right? So Justin Hunter out of high school was fantastic, and he was going to go to Ohio State or Florida. And this is the rumor, is that Urban Meyer did not want him at Florida because from a good source told me this. When Urban Meyer met Justin Hunter and shook his hand, Justin Hunter wouldn't look him in the face. And it really
I've heard people say
drove
that before.
Urban Meyer insane, and said, "He's not gonna be here." And so he ended up going to Tennessee, and then from there to the NFL like that. But
Yeah.
you remember when he was at Tennessee? I mean, he was okay, but he had Cordero Patterson was also on the team in 2012.
Yeah. Was he second round pick? Okay.
No.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess.
And I think Rustin Webster made that pick because he was a Tennessee Vol.
Yeah.
He was not a second round pick. Was not.
No.
And I think sometimes, and they'll deny it. These teams will deny it all day long. Sometimes they take players early to satisfy a fan base. Like remember what was it? God, who was it that? Vol fans wanted him to come here, and oh God, it was an early pick, and the Titans didn't do it. And then there's ones that they should take, like Trey Smith. Trey Smith should be a Tennessee Titan.
Yeah.
There's no excuse why Trey, 6th round pick.
Well,
Jawan Jennings, 7th round.
Yeah. I mean, who are you talking about? I know that
it's killing
everybody
me, man.
wanted was an offensive player.
Hooker was one last year.
Yeah, Hooker was the one last year.
Hendon Hooker, you should have got him, and he played at Tennessee. But there's one that was
everybody had themselves convinced that he was a first-round pick.
Right. I'll think about it who it was. It's like they got to draft him because he went to Tennessee. No, they don't. You draft the best player that
I know you're talking about. Because I think it was an offensive player. Alex from Nashville didn't talk about like an overhyped Des Fitzpatrick. That's true, but he was a 4th-round pick, too. I mean, but that's the one that, and you don't know at the time that you could have had Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep. That's going to kill you. Don't do that.
I know.
I had this talk with Paul the other day. We were going back and forth about, they could have had Devin Hester instead of Lindell White. I mean, all things that go on like that, it's like, and Mahomes, 17? Did Mahomes go 17th?
No. He
13th?
was like 10th.
Was he? I don't remember. But,
What draft was that?
2017. And I was like, and somebody was like, well, they could have
traded up.
Could have had Mahomes. No, they already had Mariota going into his 3rd year. They were not getting a quarterback at that time.
He was 10th, yeah. They
10th.
traded up. So you know what's funny about this? In the top 10 of that draft, there are 2 players that are not currently on a team, so technically not in the league. They are both wide receivers, and the Titans selected one of them.
Corey Davis?
5.
Who's the other one?
Cincinnati's pick at number 9.
That's the problem with the combine.
John Ross.
It's all great. You can run a 4.2 when nobody's in front of you. Can you run a 4.2 when you're getting bumped at the line of scrimmage and the linebacker crushes you to come across the middle? No, you can't do that. Who was the first pick that year?
Myles Garrett.
Okay, 2nd?
Mitch Trubisky.
3rd?
Solomon Thomas.
Is he still in the league?
Yeah.
All right, 4th?
Leonard Fournette.
Okay.
Then Davis. Jamal Adams. He's pretty good.
Yep.
Mike Williams at 7. Christian McCaffrey at 8. Then John Ross. Then Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. Yeah, what'd you say Floyd said when he took – because Mahomes was good in college. He had a losing record. I mean, they were like 10-22 or something. What did Floyd tell you when he took him?
And he got a Super Bowl.
Amazing that you know that. I mean, just know that quarterback fits in the system with the guy.
He loved that pick for them.
It's good.
For that offense. So, 2017. Hard to believe. Because I remember the Predators were already in the 2nd round against St. Louis.
No.
Yes.
They had draft rolled around?
Yeah, they had left for St. Louis already because I was basically left in charge to make sure the draft show was good because Darren and Ryan were on the road.
Okay.
So, there you go. This draft history lesson brought to you by Kitchen Notes.
Yeah, at Omni National Hotel.
That's where we are today, 615-737-1025. Tune in to 94.9 The Fan today as Nashville Sounds take on the Omaha Storm Chasers at First Horizon Park. Pre-game at 6:20, the first pitch at 6:35 with our man Jeff Him. Coverage also available on 94.9 The Fan app, 949thefan.com, and Sounds Baseball is presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, and Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Thursday. This week's Nashville's best deal is Prince's Hot Chicken, the original and iconic hot chicken joint. Get half off a $25 gift card now while supplies last at theGameNashville.com/deals. Now, that gift card is only good for the Tanger outlets in Antioch and inside Assembly Food Hall in downtown Nashville. So here's a question I have for you. As, we're obviously we're in that point where we're a week away from the draft.
Yeah.
Kind of, in that holding pattern. The Predators are about to start the playoffs, which will probably be, this weekend or something like that. And so as we look ahead and to next week, it's going to be a lot going on. Going to be a lot of fun. When you think back, since they have been the Titans, is there a draft pick that nobody really talked about when it happened, but turned out in your mind to just be this game changer? Just like a guy that really should get a ton of accolades.
Yeah. And you'll be like, what? Javon Curse. Nobody knew what he was going to do. Nobody. I was at that trailer in 1999 when they took Javon Curse. And that was a big day where, Ricky Williams had his the agent. It was, I forget, the rapper was going to be his agent. And, I want to ask for so much money. And that was all the talk of the draft that day. It's like, oh, my goodness, what these players. And then Curse kept kind of falling. And I remember, I'll never forget where do you play him? Where do you play Javon Curse?
Yeah, because he was a linebacker, right?
Yeah. Where do you play him? Nobody knew.
Which is not even an issue now.
No.
Think about that.
Right.
That was 25 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was a thing at the time. No, he's a linebacker. He can't play it.
There's
be
no
a down
way.
lineman.
Yeah.
We're a 4-3 defense.
And he had done good at Florida. He played great in the Florida-Tennessee game when they lost up in Knoxville in 98, but nobody knew.
Yeah.
I remember taking that, and Floyd was talking, hope he come in, and, we'll try to figure out where to put him in, because he had Kenny Holmes they drafted in 97, and so it was already defensive end. So there's a lot of places where you're going to put him. But nobody knew the impact. And don't say you did, because you don't, the impact that Javon Curse had.
Yeah.
And I tell you, Javon Curse is not on that team in 99. They're 8-8.
Yeah. I'm going to agree
that
with you
game against the Rams, when the Rams were 6-0 rolled in here and Fred Miller had 6 false starts.
Right.
I used to see maybe 3 false starts, but Curse really took over. And I don't think we will ever see that again. You couldn't block him. Yeah. Nobody could block Javon Curse. Nobody had the impact that he had. So to me, that's the one that stands out more than anything else.
That's a good one. I'm thinking kind of deeper in the draft. D-Mase is probably in this category. 4th round pick, was a return guy, and then turns out to be the best receiver that the team's ever had.
But are you asking immediate impact?
No.
Or down the line?
Well, I don't know. You can take it either way. The one I was going to say was Cortland Finnegan, because he was a 7th round pick.
Well, let me tell you, Cortland Finnegan got help that year because Donnie Nicky was suspended.
Right.
And so they needed another. So if Donnie Nicky was not suspended, I'm not sure Cortland Finnegan makes his football team.
Yeah.
And
it's the what if.
Finnegan came in the first game against the Jets and harassed Chad Pennington. And you're right. You get the Derek Mason is a prime example. Give me an opportunity. Here's your opportunity.
Right.
What are you going to do with it? Well, hell, I'm going to do everything I can with it. More players need to understand that. That's why I enjoyed talking to Colton Dow a few weeks ago. It's like, give me the opportunity. Give it to me. A lot of guys think they should be given.
Yeah.
Just, here's your job.
Hand it to me. Yeah,
hand it to me. Let me go from there. But Derek Mason's a prime example of nobody knew what he was going to do. Nobody.
Was 06 a good draft for the Titans?
VY, Lindell, Finnegan. Who else is in that?
Stephen Tulloch.
Yep, that's not bad.
Calvin Lowry.
Not bad.
DB.
He's the running back coach at MTSU now.
Is he really?
I think.
Nice.
So. Oh, I think he's running back. But yeah.
Turna Nandi. I don't remember him.
From don't tell me where. Maryland. Clemson.
Nope.
NC State.
Nope.
ACC school.
No, actually.
Where was you from?
Miami, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Dadgummit.
Jesse Mahalona was in that draft
Rest
class.
in peace.
John Orr, Cortland Finnegan, Spencer Toon, and I don't know why I remember this guy, because they took. You remember this? They took 2 7th-round picks back to back, and both were out of Utah.
Quentin Ganther,
Yeah.
right? The running back, yeah.
Yeah.
Mahalona out of UT, I had never seen a professional athlete cry on the practice field. Jim Washburn made Jesse Mahalona cry on the practice field. And I'll never forget talking to Jim Washburn afterwards, and Washburn gave the old thing of, if I didn't care, I wouldn't scream. And I was like,
Oh yeah, he was that guy.
not yell, but scream. But that's not a bad one. But, you go back to the 16 draft with John Robinson. I mean, Conklin, Byard, Derrick Henry. It's not. I mean, Kevin Dodd is the dud of all that.
He's the dud.
But
Austin Johnson was like a good player. Maybe not a second-round pick.
There's in 14. There's a Titans player still playing that they drafted. Not for them. Daquan Jones.
Yep.
Still
He's the
league.
only one.
Yep.
The only one still playing for.
It goes back that far then. So yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. Is that when you hit those later round guys like a Finnegan or Derek Mason, I mean it means more. I think just because those guys, you took a flyer on them.
Yeah. Nashville Hotel, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. classic. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Tune in today as Vandy Baseball takes on Florida. Pregame at 6:15, first pitch at 6:30. Vanderbilt Baseball is brought to you by Smoky Mountain Tops, your countertop experts. Visit SmokyMountainTops.com. Chase Big Joe at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes. Appreciate them for having us today. Our bellies are full. Maybe we might go back. For
Yeah, right?
another
Don't
one.
stop me now, pal.
So we'll hopefully find out maybe later today when the Predators will start their series against Vancouver, a week away from the draft, all those things. But right now, it's our favorite. What day is it? And celebrity birthdays.
All right, gentlemen, today we have College Student Grief Awareness Day. That's something important. Get to know your customers day. So, you guys both
that's good.
get to know your listeners every day. We also have International Amateur Radio Day. That's another one.
9 to 11 every day.
Every day.
We also have International Day for Monuments and Sites. I guess that, includes
Okay.
national parks and all that.
Chase went to D.C.
I
this
saw
last
some
weekend.
monuments and some sites.
How was it?
Oh, it was great.
Okay.
I hadn't been since 6th grade, so it was all in the same place, but it was good. So a lot of protests happening outside 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, the next one we have here is International Pizza Cake Day. I'm just going to ignore the cake part. International Pizza Day. Let's see here. National Animal Crackers Day. You guys animal crackers fans?
I tried not to eat them
When I
because
was
you can't just
3.
eat one.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're a good little snack to have every now and then. We
You're
have
a little
like
snack
now?
to have.
No, I mean, not right
Dr.
now.
Crane's a little snack to have.
The next one we have here on the list, I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah, just move on.
National High Five Day. That's another good one to
nice.
have. We also have, wow.
Dusty Baker.
This might apply to you, Joe. National Transfer Money to Your Daughter's Account Day.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's the other way around for her. She's the RN. I'm the loser.
And
Good.
last,
Hey, Grandpa, you're going to have to
That's right.
help out soon.
Get another job.
last one we have is National Piñata Day.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
We should do a human pinata and lift Stillman up
He was in a dunk tank
and
last
just
week.
beat him with a stick
It's a little violent. But
and then have Jolly Ranchers come out of his pockets. I'd do that. Can we get somebody to sponsor that? I'd love to do that. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. You know how the game is played. Got to get them within 2. First birthday today. Let's talk about the Nashville Predators. Scott Hartnell. How old is Scotty Hartnell today?
Hartsey. Man. 44.
48.
42.
Okay.
That's just, I remember he was 20. Just odd. You know?
I loved him. He was one of my favorites.
But did you love him? Did you really love him? No, he was good back in the day. And then was gone in 2007 with the big.
Then he came back for
He
you.
came back. Actor James Woods.
Ooh, piece of candy. James Woods. I'm gonna say like 73.
69.
77. Conan O'Brien,
Fantastic writer for The Simpsons.
who should be on late night TV instead of these other
I know.
boneheads.
He should have gotten a better shot at the Tonight Show. Conan O'Brien. Man, 61.
47.
61 exactly.
Boom.
Chaser's up 3.
Is he that old?
I know. That's why I had to think about it.
Maria Bello. Wasn't she in Coyote Ugly?
Yeah, she was
was.
on something else too.
ER.
ER, yeah. 58.
53.
57. Chase up 4-0. This is good today. Somebody needs to get a butt kick in today, and we need that today. She lives here in Nashville. Actress Melissa Joan Hart. Wasn't she in Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Yeah, and Clarissa Explains It All. 45.
42.
48. Reality star Kourtney Kardashian.
Kourtney Kardashian is 38.
44.
45. Dr. Crane on the board. 4-1. Still time, Dr. Crane. America Ferrara, the actress. She's in Barbie.
Yeah. 28.
53.
40. God, you guys are all
Really?
over the place.
Hey.
No, I made it up. Yeah, she's 40. Who else? Let's see. Let's go down here. Roll through these real fast. Actor Eric Roberts, Julia Roberts' older brother.
67.
58.
68. Chasers up 5-1. Well done. Oh, ventriloquist Jeff Dunham.
Just had him on the show.
A week ago today. Jeff Dunham.
62.
64.
62. Chasers up 7-1. He's on a tear right now. The lead guitar player of Creed, Mark Tremonti.
56.
Mark Tremonti. Oh, I should know this. 44.
50. One more as we go out of here. Chaser, if you can set the record. If you get the dead on, you get the record. From Ghostbusters, Rick Moranis.
70.
74.
71. Chaser ties the all-time record, 8-1. Ties his own record.
Yeah.
Well done,
Nice.
Chase.
Thank you very much.
America's the people's game. They demand it as well. Many thanks to the Omni Nashville Hotel for the hospitality we love. Todd Rodermill and the gang here as well. Hey, listen, as we close every show out every day to our guys out there, let you guys know that we love you. If you're struggling, please call on your cell phone, 988. Talk to somebody. You can talk to us. We're here for you. We want you guys to know every single show, every single day that you are tremendously loved. And our world is a better place because you are here. Please know that, and we love you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase coming up next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.